The Life and Sad Ending of Lionel Richie. Lionel Richie was born Lionel Brockman Richie Jr. on June 20, 1949, in Tuskegee, Alabama, the U.S. to Alberta R.and Lionel Brockman Richie. He studied at Joliet Township High School and was a very good tennis player during school. He was then offered a tennis scholarship to study at the Tuskegee Institute, which he accepted. He majored in economics and graduated from the university. When he was a student with the university, he took interest in a number of upcoming R&B groups in the 1960s. Post completing his graduation degree, he attended Auburn University for a brief period of time. In 1968, he was signed on as a singer and saxophonist with the Commodores. The same year, he signed a record contract with Atlantic Records for one record and then moved on to Motown Records. In 1974, the band, Commodores, released their debut studio album, Machine Gun, which was an album of funk music. 3 years later, they released the self-titled album, Commodores. Commodores, the self-titled album released in 1977 with his group, the Commodores, spent a total of 8 weeks on popular music charts and is also listed as one of the top 5 albums of the band. The album features the popular sex anthem, Brick House, which peaked at the number 5 positions on the U.S. R&B chart and helped catapult the band into the R&B spotlight. He sang the theme song for the film, Endless Love, along with Diana Ross in 1981. The song went on to become a huge hit in the UK, Brazil, Australia, New Zealand, and Japan. It is also considered one of Motown Records' greatest hits. He began his solo career in 1982 with a self-titled album. One of the singles from the album, Truly, peaked at the number 1 position on the music charts in the U.S. He released his next solo venture, Can't Slow Down, in 1983, under the label of Motown Records. The album sold twice as much over his first album and also went on to win a couple of Grammy Awards. The next year, Lionel Richie was seen performing, All Night Long, one of his greatest singles at the closing ceremony of the Olympics Games in Los Angeles. Through 1984, he had a string of hit singles including, Stuck on You, Running with the Night, Penny Lover, and Hello. The next year, he wrote and performed a song titled, Say You, Say Me, for the film, White Nights, for which he won an Academy Award. In 1985, he collaborated with superstar Michael Jackson for the charity single hit, We Are the World. The next year, he released one of his most successful albums yet, Dancing on the Ceiling, which produced a range of hits including, Ballerina Girl, C'est La, and Dancing on the Ceiling. His solo venture, Dancing on the Ceiling, which released in 1986, is considered one of the most successful solo ventures of his to date. It was featured at the number 1 position on the Billboard Hot 200 and sold nearly 4 million copies. He went on a hiatus for a few years only to return with his greatest hits collection, Back to Front, in 1992. 4 years later, he released his 4th studio album, Louder Than Words, which had disappointing sales. Time, his 5th studio album, released in 1998, also failed to make it big and had very low sales compared to his previous ventures. From 2002 to 2005, Richie's song, Running with the Night, was featured on the video game, Grand Theft Auto: Vice City. During this time, he was also seen in the British series, Top Gear, and on a CMT Crossroads episode. In 2006, he performed at the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival and also released his studio album, Coming Home. The album went on to become one of the biggest hits of the decade. The same year, he hosted and performed in the series, An Audience with Lionel Richie. From 2007 to 2009, he was seen on Australian Idol, performed at the Times Square for the New Year's Eve celebration, and he also went on to release the album, Just Go. In 2009, he was seen performing at Michael Jackson's memorial service. In 2010, he performed at the National Memorial Day concert in Washington, D.C., and he also performed at the AFL Grand Final replay. 2 years later, he released his 10th studio album, Tuskegee, which also features the hit singles of other recording artists. In 2013, he announced that he would launch the All the Nights All Night Long tour on The Today Show on NBC. Achievements he achieved throughout his career include: he won a Grammy Award for Can't Slow Down under the category Album of the Year in 1985. He also won another Grammy Award for Song of the Year. He was inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame in 1994. He won the George and Ira Gershwin Lifetime Achievement Award in 2008. And he also was awarded a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Probably, right now is his worst time when his health is slowly deteriorating. Thank you for listening to the story about the life of Lionel Richie. Like and comment on your opinion in the comments section below.